building. High priestess in the building, didn't let my fears kill me. Transmuted my pain in that cleanse in the rain. Down out, I was worth it and I conquered my demons. I accepted my purpose and the goddess I became. All right, we are live. All right, we are going to jump into it with my special guest today, Mambo Tonya. I definitely want to just start with where you came from. How did you get to this path?
Well, first of all, thank you for reaching out and having me on here. I love to see women empowering themselves and sharing knowledge and putting things out there that, the community right now needs.
Right.
Because we're in a phase of needing healers and everything that you're doing. Because I looked through your other podcasts and everything. I was like, wait a minute. I got to look and see what she's about. And I love it. I have to tell you right off the bat, I love your platform.
Thank you. Thank you.
The way that Mambo Tonya came about, I was a Hoodoo practitioner first. My family's from Louisiana. We're Louisiana, Texas. And growing up, we did not practice Voodoo. We did not practice it openly. Things that we did with Hoodoo and Voodoo were typically chores for us. So growing up, I didn't really even think that this stuff was a practice or there was a religion or anything to it, because you just grew up and this is what you did. Probably when I was about 16, I took a trip to New Orleans with some cousins and we started going into some of these little occult shops and everything like that. And I immediately got drawn into the energy. And I think sometimes that has to do with the ancestors leading you where you need to be when you're ready for the journey to begin, right?
Right.
So we went in, we played with some things. Some of my cousins were like, no, we don't do that. That's taboo. Because, of course, if you're raised in Texas or Louisiana, specifically Louisiana, Catholicism is what you practice. Even though there are root workers and things there, of course, those were the people, and they're in church too. But Catholicism was what we were raised on. So my cousin was like, no, we don't do that. That's not right. And I was like, no, let me experiment. And so the journey probably began then. During that time, there were a lot of people in the family that did not want to talk about spirituality. They did not want to talk about, things that were going on in the community that they felt were occult. Even if they participated, they didn't want to put it out there. And I think during that time, it was more about protection. Like we're not now everybody's outed and internet and everybody's a witch or a tata or babala or mambo or everybody wants to claim that title. But there was a time when you were persecuted for that, where you lost jobs, you lost, places to live. So a lot of people growing up were like, nope, we don't want to discuss that. And I remember having an older cousin and we weren't really close, but she made this comment about making spaghetti for a guy and, of course, put in the blood.
Right. That's like the main story.
Yes. And everybody from Louisiana has somebody, or we probably were related to the person who did that, because everybody knows that story in the family.
Right.
And I remember thinking, oh, that's wrong.
Right.
But intrigued. Like, can you really do this? And so for a long time, I kind of put it out, and I would practice tarot and not do anything as far as work or root work or anything like that specifically. There were certain protections and things that we did around the house that were just normal chores for us. Right. But I know when I got married, after I got married, and it was not an easy marriage. And tarot was like, you're growing spiritually. I was, constantly connecting with my spirits and the messages and things like that. And they were like, you're going to outgrow this person. And he really did not like anything that was different. He was Catholic also. So it was like, I don't want anything coming into this house that could cause problems. And we just kind of went back and forth with my spiritual journey, putting it off, starting it, trying to hide it like a lot of people do, trying to put stuff in the back of the closet, bring stuff out, and at a certain point when my marriage ended, I felt free. I felt like here's the opportunity to go full blown into my spiritual journey. And that was the journey of Voodoo, looking for the person, which is so hard, you guys.
It is.
It's so hard finding a mentor. It's not the decision to follow the religion is not hard at all, because I think you're called to it. But
Mm,
finding reliable, legitimate people was the most difficult thing. And I didn't think it would be. I thought it would be the
right.
easiest thing, to be honest. I met so many quacks. Oh my God, I met so many
Yes.
quacks, and they all wanted money or sex.
Right.
That
Right.
was the journey at the beginning. And I looked up. I was following. I don't know if you know Candelo Candice.
I don't think I've come across.
He is a Tata and Paulo. He's a Polero, and he was somebody that I was following at the time because somebody had introduced me to his page. And on his page, he had an Ugan that was his friend. And I looked at this man and I was like, whoa, I think I need to get in contact with him. He practices voodoo. He's a priest in voodoo. So I need to kind of, figure this guy out. So I stalked him for like a year. Like I looked at his post, I looked at what he was doing, because you really need to. You need to
Right.
research people. People have their online persona,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of times that's all you see. So you have to kind of go, oh no, I'm sorry, you guys. Let me try to mute this. You have to kind of try to look deeper into these people. And he was in New Orleans, which is 4 hours away from Texas. So I was like, okay, let me go. Let me go meet this person and hang out with this person. And we did. We clicked. And that was Hoodoo Sin Moise. And he actually just passed away this year.
Oh,
Um, and we had a little conversation, and he was like, yeah, this is your path. I'll take you under my wings. And that's where the journey with Voodoo started. Um, it's not an easy journey. It was not an easy journey. There was a lot of sacrifices that definitely needed to be made, but I felt called. I never thought I would be a Mambo, though. I have to be really honest about that. I never thought that I would be called to priesthood.
So there's definitely a difference between just practicing it and then actually teaching.
Yeah,
Because what I'm hearing is the mambo part is the teaching.
it really is. You can practice voodoo, and you can learn about the Loa. There are certain things that you cannot do in ceremony that as a priestess I can do. And there's 2 steps to, well, actually 3, because you have your sevistet, which is bringing you into a house, your sosote, your voodoo house. And some people stay right there with that. It's like, I just want to serve the spirits. I don't want to, you guys, I am so sorry. I don't even know what is all these bells and things going off over here. But you can come into a house where you start getting knowledge how to serve the spirits, because we get a lot of stuff online and it's not true. There's so many mixing and moxing things in there that you actually do need a mentor. You actually need a family or an organization to take you through proper procedures, because we're talking about powerful spirits that you can offend. You remember, what was that bull crap? What was it? Was it last year where the girl said they were saying Papa Legba killed the white lady, the white girl, because she called on him or whatever. And I was like, nah, that's not, Legba wouldn't do that. That's not Legba.
Right.
But there are definitely spirits that are Loa or Orisha that you can offend, and they can step out and do some things. So, you come in ground level and you get educated. A lot of people try to do that on the cheap, though. They'll come in people's inbox. Can you tell me this? Can you tell me that? Because they don't want to make the investment. But Haitian voodoo is a religion. It's a commitment. It's a lifetime commitment. It's almost like, you're joining something and you're starting to work with these spirits and you're making connections. You can't just throw them in a box when you get tired. You can't just, oh, let me stop this because I don't want to do this anymore. You're making commitments to these spirits. So you have Sevistet coming into a Sosote, and then you have Supuen, which is a junior priest or priestess, and then you have a Sagwe, which is a high priest or high priestess. And I am a Sagwe now. I went in as Supuen, a junior priestess, and you're learning, you're picking up things. I never thought it was going to be my journey. Spirit chose it. And I think that's what happens with the Loa and the Orisha. You can sit up here and talk all day long about what you want and what you want to be and what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. Spirit would be like laughing at you because it's like, yeah, that ain't the road that we got you walking. We got you walking
Right.
this other road. So be prepared. The thing too, and I think a lot of people have the misconception about voodoo is that, you know, you're going in with it to hurt people or harm people.
Right. I was gonna bring that up. Yeah.
Yeah, you get a ton of people because I get so many people that come to me and they're like, I want you to mentor me. I want you to tell me how to fuck people up. I want you to
Right.
tell me how to destroy
Right.
things.
Well,
And
I was
I'm
going to
like,
bring that up because there is a myth about that, like people who practice voodoo don't believe in karma. There is no thing with karma, no repercussion, and I think that's a big myth that is around. You know,
I don't think it's so much that we don't believe in karma. First of all, karma is a Hindu conception.
right, right,
It's
right,
not an American
right,
conception. So you thinking that, oh, you're going to be dealt with because you did something dirty is not a part of the belief. But voodoo is all encompassing.
hmm,
So there are a lot of things that are thrown in with these traditions that makes it a tradition. So I can't say you can disregard that
right,
because you still have a conscience with what you do.
right, right. It may
There's
not be
still,
called karma, but there
yeah,
is
you know, call it whatever you want, but if you fuck up and you come out of I'm so sorry, my mouth is
Oh
bad.
no, we're real here. This is spiritual real talk.
Okay, because I'm like, yeah, my mouth is horrible. I try to clean it up, but if you make a decision, you deal with those consequences
Right,
100%.
right.
Um, Voodoo is actually a very beautiful religion. There's so many different components to it. And of course, you have African voodoo, you have Haitian voodoo, you have Louisiana voodoo, and there's a little bit of a difference between each one of those. But the
Hmm.
main thing is that you are serving spirit, you are setting energy and action into motion, and you are responsible for the consequences that you bring about from your work. You can practice voodoo and not do any type of spell work.
Right,
They're two separate things, and I think that's where people get confused.
right,
People think, oh, I'm gonna go into voodoo and conzo and become this big bad priestess. There are a ton of priests and priestess that only serve the spirits. They don't
right,
do any type of negative magic at all. They don't do any type of darker work at all. They just want to serve the spirits. Then you do have practitioners like me who
mm,
do serve the spirits, but I'm also interested in the magical part of it. So
right,
you can have separate things when you come into it, but I think what probably messes people up more is this conception that or misconception that it's all about just fucking people up and
right,
just, you know,
right.
that's a Hollywood
Yeah, I
concept.
was gonna say the movies, this is shit you see on TV. It's like, yeah, you go to the voodoo lady, right, to fuck people up and do all this
Yeah,
crazy shit, or like
because
the little dolls.
exactly. And Voodoo doesn't even have voodoo dolls. We don't have these stick the pin stuff in. That's a Hollywood concept. Are
Right,
there
right,
workings that you can do with dolls and things like that? Absolutely. But no, all the pins and all that stuff like that, that stuff was made up to sell product and to sell movies and
mhm,
things like that. And you get a lot of people that that's what they think. You know, I see
right.
so many people on IG with these altars and then the voodoo dolls with the pin through
Yeah, I've
the
seen them.
brain and all that. And that's because they're building a brand. They're selling a brand.
Right,
Half the stuff in Louisiana in some of these stores is stuff from China, colored water. You know, it's not the real thing. And it's because sometimes you have to look a little deeper for the real
yeah,
thing. But it's about healing. You know, it's about community. It's about plants. It's about nature. There's a beautiful aspect to voodoo that people don't allow themselves to see because they've been brainwashed. They've
right,
been brainwashed. And then you have people who come in and they want to learn secrets, and then they get upset when they don't, when they're not learning what they want to learn. And you know, there's
right.
just this way chaotic energy about it. Now we got to be honest, are there people who practice and they deal with the darker aspects of spirits and things like that? 100%. There's
Right.
Bokars. There are Bokars that are born in Haiti that a lot of times they focus in on baneful work.
Mm,
But the thing about it too is that these people, there's a bloodline, there's a connection there. These are things that have been passed down, so they're carrying on that tradition. But not everybody.
I was working and I conquered my demons. I accepted my purpose and the goddess I became.